What if I told you that you've been lied to about Michael Porter Jr.? That everything you think you know about him is really just an illusion?
Smile at the camera. Like, dribble and turn around and smile so it looks nasty.
You see, I could probably pick your brain right now and tell you exactly what you're thinking. Michael Porter Jr., he's 6'10", doesn't see contests and wouldn't swing the rock to an open man if his life depended on it. He's a guy who's sort of just along for the ride, right? Talented enough to be good, but not driven enough to be great. Happy to just vibe, hang out with friends, not too concerned about the bigger picture. The potential was there, everyone saw it. But somewhere along the line, it slipped through his fingers. Sure, he's had his moments, but these days he's become more of a running joke than a rising star. Known just as much, if not more, for what he does off the court than for what he does on it. That's the version of Michael Porter Jr. the internet has sold you. And it's a lie. That could not be further from the truth. Because behind the memes and the lazy narratives constantly driven by social media lies an absolutely remarkable story that up until this point has really never been told.
It was heartbreaking, that's what I've been working my whole life towards.
MPJ's journey begins in the Midwest, Columbia, Missouri to be exact, a tight-knit city built on values of faith, family and sports. His upbringing was anything but ordinary. The third eldest of 8 siblings, he was actually homeschooled by his mother Lisa, along with his brothers and sisters. Basketball ran in his blood. His mum was 6'4", played college ball, even played professionally overseas. And his father, Michael Porter Sr., played collegiate ball in New Orleans. Yet MPJ's love for the game wasn't inherited. It was cultivated. Just 10 minutes from his childhood home at the University of Missouri. Here, his father worked as the director of basketball operations, which meant Michael was always at the arena, practicing, working on his game, or even just sitting in the stands watching, studying, dreaming of one day being on that very court.
My dad works at the arena, so I saw when the arena was packed. The first couple of years they had Kim English, Marcus Denman, Lawrence. I went to the games and I'd sit at the highest section.
Now granted, for most kids, that's all it would have been, a dream. But Michael Porter Jr. wasn't most kids. Michael Porter Jr. was born to play basketball. You see, MPJ didn't just have a dream. He had the genes to match it. He had the work ethic to match it. Being homeschooled, he wasn't really worried about making friends. He wasn't caught up in trying to fit in with everyone else. He was worried about one thing, and one thing only: getting 1,000 shots up every single day. Adding the daily grind of going up against 7 competitive siblings, and you don't just get another ordinary prospect. You get one of the greatest basketball prospects in American history.
Now when the sun come up, I'll be there to say what up in the morning.
That's no exaggeration. As this kid grew, his game did too, and so did his confidence. At age 15, he enrolled at Father Tolton Catholic High School in Columbia, where he was instantly the best player on the floor. By his sophomore year, whispers about a future star started spreading beyond Columbia, Missouri. And by his junior year, he was a state champion. And it wasn't just whispers anymore, it was headlines. At 6'6", he towered above every player on the court. Yet his game wasn't clunky or awkward, it was smooth, fluid and effortless. He moved like a guard, handled the ball with such precision, and could pull up with ease from anywhere on the court, thus earning himself the nickname Baby KD. On the AAU circuit, he began playing for Moken Elite, a program based out of Kansas City, Missouri, who at the time also happened to have a pretty handy point guard by the name of Trey Young. Together, they shredded opponents, created viral clip after viral clip, and soon every basketball outlet in the country was following them around. Baller's Life, Baller Visions, ESPN, you name it, they were there.
No, this is the best AAU team ever. In the Peach Jam, which is the highest place of basketball, biggest tournament ever, we were smacking teams by 30 every game. Like, we didn't win the championship by 10 points, we won by 30.
In 2016, right before Michael's senior year of high school, the Porters relocated from Missouri to Seattle after his father was offered an assistant coaching job with the Washington men's basketball team. It was a pretty big decision, uprooting the family and leaving behind a pretty good life they'd built for themselves.
It was kind of surreal. Like, I didn't envision myself finishing anywhere else besides Tolton. I'm gonna be a senior, and I'm gonna move high schools. I didn't know how it was gonna work. I was definitely anxious.
But it was nothing the #1 high school prospect in America couldn't handle. In fact, in Seattle, MPJ took things to a whole nother level. After enrolling at Nathan Hale High School, a team that had gone 3-18 the previous year, Michael flipped the entire program on its head. With him, they went 29-0, won a state championship, and were crowned the #1 team in the country. MPJ averaged an absurd 36 points a game, won Gatorade Player of the Year, Naismith Player of the Year, USA Today Boys Basketball Player of the Year, Max Prep Player of the Year, and was named the MVP of the McDonald's All-American Game. Michael Porter Jr. had arguably the greatest high school basketball season of all time. And to cap it off, he then announced he was coming home to Columbia to attend Mizzou, the college he once grew up dreaming of playing for.
The number one recruit in the country is coming home.
We're ready to turn college basketball upside down. The season tickets are sold out. People are crazy excited. The attendance at Mizzou is going up. Like, people are deciding to go to Mizzou for school because the basketball team is going to be, it was crazy.
It was the perfect ending to a perfect chapter. But as the saying goes, when something feels too good to be true, that's usually because it is.
All summer I'm balling, I'm ready to go for the season, and 3 days before the first game, my hip starts, like my leg starts hurting, my hip, and then it was going down my leg, and I'm like, okay, like, what's going on? Let me try to get some extra rest tonight, see if I feel better tomorrow. And I sleep, and I wake up, and it feels worse. It was so scary, so then I know I'm not 100%, but then the game day comes, and that first game, I remember I'm going through layup lines, and I just I didn't feel right at all. Couldn't jump. I told my dad. I remember telling Dad, I was like, Dad, like, I can't play. Like, I'm going through warm-up lines and I can't really jump. Like, I don't know what's going on. He was like, all right, go tell coach.
Michael's first game at Mizzou would mark the beginning of what would become one of the most unfortunate, complicated, confusing, and drawn-out injury sagas in recent memory. So I've done my best to compile an accurate timeline of events here, but just bear with me. So MPJ had his first publicly documented back flare-up on the 10th of November 2017, which was that first game he just spoke about. That night, he got an MRI which revealed a herniated disc in his lower back, and 2 weeks later underwent a microdiscectomy to address discs L3 and L4 respectively. Now, Michael was reportedly meant to be sidelined for at least 4 months post-surgery, which would have been the remainder of his freshman season. However, in an effort to make a push for the NCAA tournament, Porter returned to play on the 8th of March during the second round of the SEC tournament, where he came off the bench and played a total of 23 minutes. Porter then played 28 minutes in Mizzou's first and only NCAA tournament game. And as I was looking back at some of these highlights, I mean, you can just tell something is not right. He seems to be moving around the court with zero confidence in his ability to jump or put any sort of force through his lower back. And unfortunately, that was the extent of his college career. 3 games and a total of 53 minutes played. But here's where things get really dicey. A few weeks later, after the NCAA tournament on March 28, he declares for the draft. By all reports, teams were certainly concerned about Porter's health, but his upside was far too high to ignore, and it still felt like he was going to be a top 5 pick in the draft. Then, midway through June of that year, about 2 weeks out from the draft, Porter was scheduled to hold a private pro day in Chicago for the top 10 teams in the draft. This was his chance to prove that he was healthy, to show scouts and executives that his back problems were behind him. But on that morning of the workout, word got out that Michael couldn't even get out of bed.
I wake up that morning and like all the pain is down my leg, like it's crazy again. After I had the first surgery, I call my agent, I'm like, yo, like I can't get out of bed, bro. He tells me, man, the team's are already on their way, like just let them evaluate you. So I end up laying on a table and they're all top 10 teams have their doctors there, and they're just evaluating me.
That same day, a doctor from the LA Clippers wrote up a medical report on Michael, stating he'd never play professional basketball ever again.
The guy from the Clippers was the head doctor, and he's the one that wrote the report. It's like, yeah, he probably won't ever play again.
Now, as you can imagine, that kind of assessment from a club doctor is enough to tank a kid's draft stock into oblivion. So heading into draft night, everything was really up in the air. A kid who, without a doubt, would have been the consensus #1 pick in the 2018 NBA draft was now just praying for any team to take a chance on him.
I remember the whole week leading up to draft, I was in a ton of pain. I'm like scared because this is my whole future ahead of me, you know what I mean? And so, man, we go to New York for the draft.
With the first pick in the 2018 NBA draft, the Phoenix Suns select DeAndre Ayton.
And I'm sitting there in pain. I'm watching all these dudes get drafted.
With the second pick in the 2018 NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings select Marvin Bagley III, Luka Doncic, Jaren Jackson Jr.
I see name after name go by, dudes that I think I'm better than.
Colin Sexton, Kevin Knox, Mikal Bridges.
It was heartbreaking, you know, that's what I've been working my whole life towards.
Trae Young, Mohamed Bamba, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
And I'm just slipping.
Wendell Carter Jr., Jerome Robinson.
Until I got selected by the Nuggets with the 14th pick.
With the 14th pick in the 2018 NBA draft, the Denver Nuggets select Michael Porter Jr. from the University of Missouri.
For most NBA prospects, hearing your name called on draft night is euphoric. But for Michael, it was just an incredibly strange feeling. There was a part of him, of course, that was relieved to have been taken at all. But there was also a part of him that was pretty annoyed about how everything had played out.
So that was tough to go 14. It was like a hit to my ego, a hit to my pride.
And there was also a part of him that wondered if he'd ever even step foot on a basketball court again.
But even then, I'm like, man, I don't even know if I could hoop.
Because as soon as MPJ got to the Nuggets, scans confirmed what he already knew. His back injury hadn't healed properly, and he would need another surgery, which would sideline him for the entire 2018-19 NBA season.
Once I heard the news that I was gonna have to have a second surgery, that definitely put me into like a depression mode for a little bit, because I was like, dang.
Let me very quickly get to Michael Porter, because we were talking about this in the meeting before the show, and this is a terrible shame. He has undergone another surgery of the lumbar spine. It's his second in less than a year. The Nuggets now say there's no timetable for his return.
Let me say this about Michael Porter. I have to say something that makes me incredibly sad to say this. I have no faith in him because of his health. I think that he's fragile. I think that back will give out.
It's going to be hard. I'm going to say he's got a lot to prove, and his body might not be able to handle it.
I don't really even talk about this story a lot, but I really didn't know if I was going to hoop again.
For over a year, all anyone could do was wonder, when will he come back? Will he even come back at all? And if he does come back, what will it look like? Will he still be the same Michael Porter Jr., or will he just slowly disappear into irrelevance? On the 31st of October, 2019, roughly 450 days after being drafted by the Nuggets, MPJ finally made his NBA debut. Now clearly, no player comes back the same after having 2 spinal surgeries in 8 months, but his raw talent was undeniable. Even with some hesitation in his explosiveness and his ability to jump, MPJ still managed to carve out a pretty significant role on the team. His ability to rise up and score over just about anyone gave Denver a whole new dynamic on offense. And as the season went on, those flashes of brilliance began to turn into stretches that made you think this guy might still be really special.
So I'm trying not to overreact to this, but my gut tells me that last night a star was born for the Denver Nuggets, a star who will change their franchise going forward.
And in 2021, MPJ took a huge leap, played 61 games, averaged 19.7 rebounds, and shot an absurd 45% from three-point range, establishing himself as one of the best shooters in the NBA.
He's going to try to light it up from distance, and he does. Oh, Porter is feeling it.
To his credit, Michael had done something that not many players are able to do. He'd revamped his entire game from being a ball-dominant slasher with a jump shot to being essentially a pure jump shooter who could pull up from anywhere in front of anyone. And honestly, it was a perfect fit. With Jokic and Murray's two-man game and Porter's ability to space the floor, the Nuggets quickly became title contenders. Thus, following that breakout season, MPJ inked his first big deal, a 5-year max contract extension with the Nuggets. After everything he'd been through, the surgeries, the setbacks, Michael had finally come out the other side. Or so we thought.
In the lane, no good. Jokic bats it out. Gordon trying to, and they got him. And Porter's going to take it in. Oh, he missed the layup. Can you believe it?
SportsCenter tweeted it out oh my God, what is Michael Porter Jr. doing here? How did he screw this up? And it's that looks like a dude that's hurt.
Just months after that contract extension and only 9 games into season 2022, Porter's back flared up again, and his agent announced he would need to undergo a 3rd surgery on his lumbar spine, sidelining him for the remainder of the season. At this point, the noise on social media was really loud. Worst contract of all time, put this man's agent in the Hall of Fame, he got his bag and said, I'm done. And honestly, I don't blame people for saying shit like this. I mean, honestly, I catch myself laughing at this stuff too. And it is easy to brush off any sympathy you might have for someone just because they have a shit ton of money. I get it. But it's also easy to forget that before Michael Porter Jr. made any money whatsoever, he was playing basketball because that's what he loved to do.
People might not believe me on this, but I literally never played basketball with the thought of one day I'll be playing for a lot of money. I always just played because I loved it and I wanted to be the best.
Smile at the camera. Dribble and turn around and smile so it looks natural.
And that passion, it didn't just disappear when the checks started hitting his bank account.
That desire and that passion in me, I know it's still what it was when I was the best player in the world for my age. It's just that my body betrayed me.
Not being able to do what you love, that'll take its toll on anyone, regardless of money and status.
And so that's a hard thing to deal with when you have all this like hunger and drive to be the best, but then like, you know, so it's a tough thing to deal with. I had just signed a deal, right? Came off a really good season, and signed that deal, and I'm hoping to like blow up this next year. And then I was gonna need that third surgery, and it was definitely heartbreaking. It was just like, you know, like, God, like why? Like, why does this keep happening to me? Am I supposed to give basketball up? You gotta get over that feeling bad for yourself at first. I felt bad for myself. But once you get past that, I think it's just like, okay, I'm never gonna give up, man. I could have 5, 6 surgeries, you know, and this is what I love to do. This is how I get my happiness. This is the talent God gave me. So I'm gonna keep it rolling until I gotta hang it up.
Michael Porter Jr. returned from his 3rd back surgery on opening night of the 2022-23 NBA season.
Stop and pop 3, up and good. Wide open look is Porter Jr. now in double figures with 10.
And what would follow was pretty remarkable. He played a career-high 62 games, averaged 17 points on the year.
Now Porter Jr. Whoa!
And was absolutely instrumental in Denver's 2023 playoff push, where, for the first time in franchise history, the Denver Nuggets were crowned NBA champions.
Porter drives between the legs, layup is good! How did he get that to go in? Porter a 3, punch it in! The Heat will let it play out. It's over. At last, the long wait is over. After 47 years, the Denver Nuggets can finally call themselves NBA champions.
You know, I'm not even supposed to be here, to be honest with you. Like, after everything I've been through, I don't know, like, I'm not really supposed to be a world champion. Like, I can't describe it. I look back on everything, how hard I worked, and it just feels surreal. Especially after the championship, those are the times you reflect. You're like, man, God's fingerprints were somewhere in this story, you know what I mean?
These last couple years have brought a lot of frustration and pain your way. This whole process has, and I gotta tell you, the thing that excites me the most right now, though, Mike, is how you've handled it throughout. There have been times you've been angry, and that's fine, but you didn't stay angry. There were times you were down, but you didn't stay down.
And now when I look back on some of the hard things that have happened throughout my basketball career, I look at them as a blessing in disguise, because God molds you through hardships. I have no idea if I'd be the same person if everything just went smooth for me. I was one of the best players in the league, and I never dealt with any of the hard stuff I've gone through. I feel like I would be a completely different person, and that might not be a person that God could use in the same way he can use me now. And that's one of the most treasured parts of my life, is when a kid reaches out through Instagram, or I hear about a story, and I get to inspire those people going through similar things. You know, there's a guy at Baylor who had a freak injury at his knee, and it affected his nerves, so he had to wear the brace, and he didn't think it was possible to play until he watched me play. That's the main goal for me. I want to be a man that can help change the world for the better, for God. Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Curious Mike, back with another video. I know I ain't talked to y'all for a while, but you know, something interesting happened. I'm out here in Capri right now, actually. I was on the way out here when I got the news that I was traded. But I want to start off expressing my gratitude to the Nuggets organization. You know, Josh, Stan, Tim Conley, and the whole front office for taking a chance on me and changing my life. But I do feel like my ceiling in Denver kind of plateaued a little bit, that I kind of, you know, wanted to grow my game. I didn't want to plateau. I want to keep getting better throughout my career. And I just started texting back and forth with my agent, and I was like, man, where are we going? Like, where am I headed to? And he told me Brooklyn. I'm very excited, and I'm ready to get this next chapter of my life rolling. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Curious Mike out.